Hello, everybody, and welcome back
Bringing us all,
the
Jacob, just in
show.
case.
To the show. There we go. We're back. All right,
If
so
I'd be able to carry Constantino on my back, you have like a chunk of steel in your body, and this is gonna make you very heavy.
Are you weight shaming me?
Yep. And it's gonna be
Wow.
off balance.
What kettle, Mr. Robot?
oh, robot.
I'm a very light
That
robot.
tickled me, Mr. Robot.
Not right now.
All right, so it is. Let's get back. So you guys land at the station, and as is usual, you don't open the doors right away. As you saw, a half-hour period from landing before you actually open the doors to go out there. As you know, atmospheres stabilize and things check for like bacteria, for like viruses and bacteria and whatnot that might be coming through. Anything that might be a concern from coming from other worlds. So it takes about a half hour, and then finally, the door opens up, and you guys are able to go out there. When the door opens up, the person that's kind of like in the front as the door opens up is the captain. Him with two of his crewmates go walking off board. It's him and two humans go walking out. So the door opens up. He's like, all right, I'll see you guys around. And he goes walking by, and he gets off the ship, and he goes walking forward. And as you guys are getting off as well, as he's walking by, a few...
I was gonna make a joke. How long do we need to wait to hear him get shot?
A few guards close in around the entrance of the doorway. It's actually 6 guards stand there. They're clearly like, we're gonna say Omega, patrol, but we know what that means. Come lining up, and actually they close the gap of people coming off the vessel behind the 3 humans and in front of the 3 of you. And so as soon as that happens, one of them says, we got a report that there was going to be some travelers coming in bringing some war. Seems as though the report was correct.
Karma makes a mental note. We're just coming here as prepared. You know how Omega is. We don't want any trouble in our short stay here.
You don't want trouble. And he says, gesturing to the war machine adjacent to you.
I am for
through the
protection.
doorway.
I am for protection purposes only.
Protection purposes only, he says. And with this, he's going to gesture to the barrel that's kind of standing over sticking up over his shoulder.
I do
Speak
not say.
softly and carry a big stick.
I simply state my protocols. I am for protection purposes only. I do not kill.
They then are going to turn their attention to Constantinia, who's of course wearing her hierarchy garb, her military garb, and say, "Is the hierarchy aware of your coming here and the troubles that you're coming to brew?"
We're not here to brew any trouble.
That's one of those.
But they are aware of my mission and what I seek to do. And ours is a peaceful one.
Yeah, we're not buying any of this horse shit. We're going to need you to come with us so you can speak to Arya.
Very well.
And they're going to lead the 3 of you away to go and speak to Arya. When you go speak to Arya, it's one of those things where as you guys go brought over into Afterlife, and then, through like the, kind of music going on in there and people like dancing and shit like that. The door opens up. The doors are large enough that you could actually get in there, no problem, Icarus. But as you go walking through, there's a combination of people kind of like getting out of the way of the war machine robot as it comes in, and others being like, woo! And like going over and like dancing up on the robot, like, look at me! Oh, I'm dancing on the robot! And whatnot as you guys make your way through the nightclub and then up into Arya's private area. As you go into the private area, she is standing over somebody who's kneeling on the ground on one knee, but not because like they're honorable one knee. Clearly, like they've got a black eye and everything. They've been knocked down to the knee, and she looks up because she hears a commotion. She leans down with a very heavy backhanded slap across the side of the person's face. She says, "And you will not forget it this time. Now get out." And the person's like, "Oh, of course, Arya, of course." And then gets up and scampers out of the room. It was a Taurian that was there, but gets up and scampers out of the room. And She'll make her way over, not addressing you guys quite just yet. Make her way over to the little mini bar she has in there. Pour herself a drink. Go over, sit down on her couch. Cross one leg over the other. Spin the drink for a second. Take a sip, and then finally say, "You can come in." Almost annoyed that you haven't done so yet.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. We were doing the courtesy thing, and it's like, oh, we don't want courtesy here.
Of course. So you guys come in. And she looks at the three of you and says, I heard a whisper on the winds that there is going to be a war brewing here, that there is a war machine coming, and it seems as we know each other. She says, looking directly at Carmine. I hear an echo. We know each other.
Have we? I don't recall if we've met before.
Maybe you
But
haven't.
I know that it's not wise to cross you.
Maybe you haven't met me, but I've heard of you. How do I know of you?
That is very possible. I used to be in the Alliance until things happened. I went off grid for a while, and then I came back.
To the Alliance?
No.
You stuck it sideways to Cerberus, didn't you?
You can put it like that, yes.
What are you doing here? She says just plainly to all of you.
We're here to track down a Solarian and have a word with him. No violence involved. We need him.
No violence involved, but you bring a robot of war. Is that just because it's the only one you
Everyone
have?
keeps saying robot of war. This is an industrial frame. Everyone on this station has war already on the mind. You are seeing what you want to see. This is an industrial frame carrying heavy industrial goods.
Our idea is to speak softly, yet carry a big stick.
I can respect that. I like the VI. Is it for sale?
No. He is quite useful to our mission.
You could trade the VI to me. In exchange, I'll find this Solarian and deliver him to your ship.
You couldn't afford me.
With that, she actually leans forward slightly. Arya doesn't do big motions. She leans forward a couple of inches and says, "Sweetheart, I can afford anything I want."
Icarus sort of drops the big guy act and, like, with big gorilla hands, wipes lipstick off the armor.
Sorry, that was good. Clearly seeing that with the nonverbal response, no. She'll lean back and say, "Fine. You have my permission to find this Solarian for yourself. You're not going to be causing any troubles.
We won't.
If you do understand that you're going to be responsible for the cleanup, you're going to owe me."
We will keep that in mind.
You're free to leave. She says, and she kind of like nods to one of the other people one of the like guards that she has nearby, but it's not like, you can tell that it's not to escort you out. It's actually specifically to bring the next person in, and you actually see an Asari being brought in. But the Asari being brought in, it's like the guard that's bringing her clearly has his hand on like the back of her neck, like he's guiding her in there very well. And you can also see that there's a device that's like in his hand that he's holding her with. It's one of those things, like, you've seen things like this before. It's for like transporting biotic prisoners to help inhibit the biotics. So he's like walking her into the room as she nods to him. You know what I mean? I imagine you guys just turn and leave.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
Icarus
scamper
does look,
off.
yeah, he looks back a bit, and then when they've left him, he's like, I liked her.
She seemed to like us well enough, which is good.
We're
Might
alive.
prove useful.
So you guys go back down through Afterlife. The same thing happens as before. It's like and people are like, woo! It's like a big wooing cheer as like the robot comes back down, and like the same group of people comes over, but now like some of their friends come over too. There's like a big mass that's like dancing around the big robot.
Icarus does stop this time. Doesn't do anything. He just sort of stays there for like a minute, Before continuing.
So you have like cameras all around. Like, I'm gonna record this. I feel like this video
Yeah,
footage might be useful.
When we leave Afterlife, it's just like, I have questions.
I am not sure you want the answers to your query.
I'm not sure I want to be the one to answer.
So you
I think I need to talk to my mother.
funny enough. So you are on Omega. What's the plan from here to find this? The individual, their name. So last name is what is it? So hold on one second. What's her name? Her name is Lepip. Oh shit! I don't have that website open. Sorry, boys and girls.
He comes here to look for jobs and contracts. He'll probably be advertising himself.
Wrong person. Stop being.
I mean, Omega's the
stop.
kind of place to have literal bounty boards.
Mhm.
So, look at one of them.
That's right. The last name was Geluso. Her name is Lepip Geluso. So his name was Jerarin Geluso. JJ.
We'll find JJ at a bounty board.
If you're writing it down, it's Jerarin.
Jararin.
Yep, Jerarin Geluso. So it's JJ. So you're looking for JJ, and you're trying to find him. So the way that you're going to go about this is literally kind of going up to a bounty board and seeing if he has his information posted.
Yeah.
Okay. So you go over to like one of the regions.
Oh, no, wait. No, that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to use one of my processing to query data into like Omega's networks.
Sure.
And look for his last known whereabouts.
Absolutely. So
And it's as if I had an unlimited amount of time to check.
So you go in
So
there
it just
and
depends
like,
whether it'd be findable, I guess.
filtering your way through, and you do actually find out that there were reports from only 2 days ago that he was seen, because Omega doesn't really have laws in the sense that there are laws. It's just don't fuck with Arya, right? So unfortunately, some groups do get it in their minds to fuck with Arya, and the one that's most likely to do that, of course, is the Blood Pack, because the Blood Pack are stupid and don't really make smart decisions. Blood Pack is primarily, we're talking almost exclusively, Krogan and Vorsha. However, from time to time, they do work with others because they need other tasks to be handled. Well, the Blood Pack, you can't judge an entire, like, people like Arya are smart enough not to judge an entire organization by a small group. So there's a cell of Blood Pack that happens to be here on Omega that has pissed off Arya because of recent activities, because of just the way that they've been going about doing business. Well, he actually was recently seen signing on for a job with the Blood Pack to go and export illicit materials to another region. The issue is that the illicit materials they're exporting were illicit materials that were actually stolen from an organization that works for Arya, that works under her. So ipso facto, they stole from Arya. So it's actually one of those things where it's like, oh shit, the recent report shows that he's with people that Arya wants dead. So therefore she wants him dead.
Oh, good, yeah. Hey, remember that we're not gonna cause any trouble, bits?
She gave us a blessing to find him.
We didn't give his name.
She probably
I didn't-
knows.
Possibly.
So, did they give any way for me, like any location related to any of that?
Yeah,
Super useful information. I'm just like, oh shit.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, it's a blood pack. They're not gonna hide where they're recruiting people for.
But very valid point.
So the easiest way to be able to get this kind of information is to actually go to the Blood Pack themselves and try to procure the information from them, because unfortunately they're not just gonna, like as you said, just tell you anything. So go ahead, as you is that what your plan is, to go to
Makes sense, doesn't it?
Okay. So you guys are gonna head over to the Blood Pack to meet up with them, because I mean, where it is that you find them, it's again pretty simple. It's like, where can I meet the Blood Pack? Oh, blah blah over here. So and you go and can meet up with at least one of the members of them, and you be like, hey, we have information, and kind of like pass along like, what's it to you? And so you actually do meet up with somebody of significance that might be able to answer a couple of your questions. It's going to be a Krogan. by the name of Jarek. If you care to write that down. Member of the Blood Pack. So when you meet with Jarek, he's like, so you got one of those, like, he'll meet you here, and he'll meet you literally in a hallway, where people are walking by, and you see this Krogan making his way over to you, and he's like, I hear you're looking for me. What's it to you?
You might be able to help us find a scrawny Solarian named JJ. Also goes by Girarin Jaluzio.
I know of this JJ. Again, what's it to you?
We need to have a word with him.
You looking for his blood?
No.
No.
You working with Arya?
No.
No.
You working for Arya?
No.
You working against Arya?
No.
Nope.
So you need to find him for a word.
Yep.
Correct.
How quick you need him?
Before Arya has his head on the plate, preferably.
So before he gets back then.
By the sounds of it.
Then you're gonna have to get there to him.
Where is there?
He's on a run. There's a vessel. We hear it's got some good stuff on it. We want to go and take that stuff.
Is the vessel docked on Omega?
It's flying. They're gonna crash it. Crash into it. Break into it. They're gonna take the stuff. Probably everyone dead.
Well, then we're going to need to know what ship you're using to do that.
You got a transport?
Not really. We're kind of indisposed at the moment.
You don't got a transport. Seems like you're interfering with somebody who's working with the Blood Pack. And, how are you gonna get there? What benefit for me to tell you?
We are asking.
Thanks. Why should I tell you?
Icarus just looks at Carmine.
You asked if we were working on behalf of Arya.
And you said
Do you
no.
have a... In fact, yes. Do you have a problem with Arya? Would you have not worked with us if we were?
This little outfit is not under my control. I follow rules. And so, I'm not being hunted. They are. If their job is good, I stand to make a lot of profit. If their job goes bad, Arya cuts out the cancer. Win-win for me either way. But you throw an anomaly in the mix. You make things different. I'm willing to work with that if it benefits me. How are you going to benefit me?
We could maybe help get rid of the cancer.
Arya can do that if they fail.
Wouldn't it be better to get rid of it not relating anything to Arya?
So you want to make it look like I was the one that did the job? Like I'm puckering lips?
Why not? Seems like you know how things work around here and they don't. So why should they be in charge?
The stuff, their job, those need to happen. So you can hit them after the job and take the guy or do whatever it is you're doing. Sounds like you're looking to end them.
We need him for something.
You need-
Alive.
You need
He
him.
won't be your problem anymore.
That's for him. What about the rest of the cancer?
We can get rid of that as we go.
I still need what they're getting. It's a lot of money in that job.
If it succeeds.
If it succeeds, you better not fuck it up.
You want us to go to their ship after their job, cut out the cancer, which I infer means indispose your co-workers, and then we can do what we wish with the individual known as JJ.
He's all yours. Just don't bring him back here. Or at least, if you gotta drop the stuff off back here, you don't let him be known that he's on board.
That seems a fair deal.
Yeah, you can have him if I get my stuff. And I'll take the credit, and we're all winning.
You'll get your stuff.
But how you gonna get there? You gotta transport?
Their ship will land.
How you gonna get to their ship?
Wouldn't it land on Omega, Scott?
Oh, no. My apologies, maybe... Because earlier it was like, do you want to wait till he comes back? And you were like...
And
no.
we said yes.
I'm pretty sure you said no, because as soon as... More or less, he was like, as soon as he gets back, Arya's gonna snag them. So, like, you want to do it
I
not
thought
here.
when I deliberately retold the plan...
Aside from Ollie, was anybody
wait.
else confused by that? Did you guys assume you were going there? Or did you assume you were waiting to come back? Aside
I
from
mean, I'm
Ollie.
getting confused now. I
Yeah.
don't even know anymore.
We have no way of getting to them. So.
Yeah.
So this is the only way we could possibly do it, which is why I redoubled everything.
Gotcha.
We'll wait till they get back, but like the second they get back, yup,
Gotcha.
and then do whatever.
So assuming you reiterate the plan that way, and he listens to it, he goes, if that's your plan, that's probably Arya's plan. In which case, your plan is her plan, and you might get in her way.
How unfortunate. It will be fine. You don't need to concern yourself either way, do you?
My name's not on anything.
Just give us the location where your ship is going to land with the stuff and when they are going to land.
So if you're just gonna wait till they dock back here on Omega, I'll tell you when I know they're coming in, which dock they're landed on. They probably won't be coming back for a couple of weeks because they got a job to do. But then when they come back, I'll let you know where they're docking. Think you can hold up for a few weeks, or are you in a rush?
Good time.
Seems like, since you ain't got no way to fly. And he's like, then I guess we'll be in contact. And just kind of keep walking past you, because like he approached you one way in the hall, and just keep walking past, as though he was already going somewhere anyways. That does allow time to pass while you guys are on Omega. Unless you're going to try to come up with anything else.
I suggest we might want to tell Arya about the whole not causing trouble thing might turn into maybe causing trouble thing.
Yeah, I was gonna, if it was really quick, I would have said that, you know, more or less Igelos was gonna tell the people she sent, but considering I have 2 weeks, probably should tell her. But maybe not.
Yeah, otherwise we will get in her way.
I mean, here's what happens if we tell her. She says, I'll give you JJ, but you owe me, and then we have to do something for her.
Yeah. But then we don't fuck
But
with
what we're
Arya.
going to be doing for her is probably going to be illegal.
What we're doing now is illegal.
But Omega is lawless, so we're fine.
Yeah.
Or we could just give away Icarus in trade for JJ.
Hey!
Yeah.
Or yeah, she could ask for that.
Always like, new character? Oh, do I want to be a Solarian?
My new character is a Solarian.
Hey.
I don't know, man. Every session you get a new wrinkle. It's not worth it.
So yeah. So really, we could go to Arya or we could not. If we don't go to Arya, more fuckage later, guaranteed. If we do, less fuckage, maybe.
If we don't go to
Different
Arya,
fuckage.
and we're gonna have fuckage later, yes. There's also the issue of she might try to stop us from leaving
Yes,
Omega.
because we don't have a set way to leave because we don't have a ship. So
Yeah.
not
Probably
getting
gonna
in
have
touch
to
is a good
go
idea.
to her.
Yeah, we should just go
It's
to
best
it.
to play by her rules on this now, and we can just like offer us like, hey, yeah, so we know this thing's gonna happen, and these people are gonna do that, and you're gonna want to get rid of that blood pact cell. We can put the Krogan that isn't messing with you in charge of the cell, what's going to be left of it, and take care of the rest of it for you. And that way we kind of do Arya's bidding for Arya, and at the same time do our bidding for ourselves.
Good plan. Let's take it to Arya.
So how long do you wait before you tell her? We go like, let's go immediately there. Let's wait a couple days. Let's wait a week.
I don't like the idea of going immediately.
We probably
Give
have
her a couple of days
conversation about
courtesy,
it.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like a couple of days to make the plan, yeah.
Okay. So you wait like, we'll say 2 days then. So it's like not the next day, but the following one. Okay.
Do we want to go the next day? We don't want to give anybody time to like. We don't want to give that Krogan time to like go to Arya himself and say they're planning this.
That's true.
So we might want to go. We might want to have this conversation and then go like the next morning.
Yeah, that's probably
Yeah.
a good
So it's
idea.
only like 12 hours later you go to Arya.
Yeah.
Cool. So when you guys do that, you go to meet up with Arya. As you go to meet up with her, so the way that you get there is you're going to go walking through the nightclub. This time you guys go through the nightclub. Nobody's interested whatsoever in you, Icolas. I'm sorry.
What does the club look
There's
like?
another shinier robot in another corner now.
I'm sorry, Aaron?
What does the club look like at the daytime?
The same exact as it does at the nighttime, because day and night don't really exist in a station, right? So it's literally just like different
Party
people
never
party at
stops.
different times. Yeah, exactly. So it's just different faces, same activities. So as you guys go to meet with Arya, as you walk up to the guards that are stopping you there, they've clearly seen you come through before. So one of the guards looks over to you guys and says, "You got a meeting?"
We're
We've got
making
something
one.
that Arya might want to know about.
Let's see if she's interested in talking to you. And with that, he literally just kind of like takes 2 steps and looks around the corner, and then like he's like looking in that direction for a second at most. You don't hear him say anything. You don't even see him mouth anything. And he turns back and comes, "Yeah, go in." And you guys walk in, and there's Arya sitting there on her couch again, but this time she actually has it's a data pad, but it's more advanced than your typical data pad. Like it's designed to have like multiple screens and like hollow screens that appear in front of it. So it's like working like a 3 or 4 monitor kind of computer that she's working on. And as you guys come walking in, she's clearly pressing like the escape button or whatever, and all the hollow screens close down. She takes the pad and places it on her lap.
There goes all the Hanner porn.
Places it on her lap, and she says, "I didn't expect to see the 2 of you, or 3 of you."
We didn't expect to be back so soon either. We found our man, or where he's going to be.
That's quick.
Problem is, you're not gonna like him for it. He's working with a blood pact cell that you don't particularly like from the word on the street.
JJ.
Yes.
And?
This blood pact cell. There are a couple of them that play by your rule, but most of them don't. And they're currently on a transport
Yeah, I know where they're going.
about to. Right.
We need JJ.
And
Yes.
You're here to trade.
We can take out the rest of that blood pact cell as soon as they set foot on Omega Station.
So can I. You're here to trade, and I imagine she gestures towards Icolas. Certain options still aren't on the table, right? Yeah, very well.
We're not desperate yet.
She thinks for a couple moments, like she's clearly like kind of calculating in her mind. She thinks probably like a solid 5-6 seconds, which is a decent amount of time for her. And she says, "I'll give you 2 offers. You tell me which one you like better. 1, you sit tight, we do what we do, and I'll deliver him to you. But one day, I'm going to come calling, and you're going to answer. Or, I give you a ship, and you collect him yourself, taking care of everything else, but you deliver a message."
Don't fuck with Arya.
It's a little different from that, but yeah.
That sounds good.
She looks to the Torian, to Constantinia.
I would like to discuss with my crew.
She nods to that and just sits there, watching at you.
Great. Carmine, are you okay with murdering all these people? We don't even
Let's be
know.
honest. They're not exactly on the moral high end of the scale.
What have they done then?
They're blood packed. Organized
Blood pact is-
crime. There's a long list I can send you. And it wouldn't
I
even
can read
begin
it
to
now
scratch
if
the
you
surface.
want. Organized crime, people trafficking, non-people trafficking. I don't know what that one means, but it troubles me.
As a
Arson,
non-person?
murder, regicide, matricide,
Space piracy.
space piracy. That was lower down.
I will think about it for like a long minute before saying okay.
Good. Then I will provide a vessel for you. You'll go and you'll take care of the problem. You might be a little bit interested in what it is that they're doing. There's apparently a Taurian vessel that's flying a few jumps from here. It's got a bunch of humans on board. They're working on some development, and they're going to take the development that they're working on and kill everybody on board. So what I need you to do is to go and save them. You go there and you save every damn one of them humans and whatever Taurians happen to be sitting around in that vessel. You can let them keep whatever technology they're working on. I don't care. But you make sure you look that captain in the eyes and you let him know who it was that came to his aid. You let him know who it was that had sent recruits. You let him know why it is he's still breathing and why he's going to kiss his wife and his 4 sons. You make sure he knows that.
It will be done.
JJ's all yours. I don't want a single one of them breathing. And you know how Vorsha are. You space them if you need to.
We will be thorough.
And she, for this time, as opposed to like asking for somebody else to come in, she's kind of like head nods towards the door that you guys came back in.
Right, we will take our leave.
Okay. With that, this time actually somebody is going to, a different guard is going to come stand up next to you and say, "Follow me." And he's going to walk with you out a different door. It's actually like a side door down a corridor. And when he leads you through these corridors, these are clearly like some back pathways. There's smaller corridors like access tunnels, but they're like very quiet. Like most of Omega is very loud. There's like, poor people, wretches on the streets begging for money. There's constant deals going on. There's fist fights, bar fights, nightclubs. It's just always loud. These access tunnels that you're going through right now are actually very quiet. It's nice because like everything's just like a slight murmur through the metal walls, right? So as you make your way through the tunnels, eventually you actually come out into where the docking area is. This is a private docking area for very specific peoples are allowed to use this, where they're actually going to lead you over to a ship. The ship they lead you over to is a Asari-made vessel, but the ship itself is actually like really new and really good quality. It's one of those things where as you walk up to the ship, you look at it and you're like, I don't see a single weapon on board, and that makes me happy. You know what I mean? So the person goes over and says, gestures to the ship, and then looks back to you and says, "Can one of you fly?"
Yes.
She's giving that to you. Try to bring it back without a scratch. You don't want to piss her off. And then just turns and walks away and doesn't say anything else.
Nicholas will wait until they've left to be like, I can only fly it very well for a short time before I start melting the processes in this suit. My processes are in my ship back home.
Oh dear.
You're not saying that to me, you're saying it to them, right?
I'm saying that to them.
Yeah.
Jib, also, so you know that I only have a 3 processing right now.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I can pilot.
I think we can all fly to a decent sort of degree, but
Your skill drops back down to a -1 if you're not using
Yeah.
Boolean.
Well, Nicholas will like shake his head and be like, might be able to do far more than pilot if this is a new Citadel grade ship.
I'm sure Arya will have some toys in here.
From the research I was doing last night, I don't think I want to interface with the kind of toys she enjoys. Or do I? I am confused.
I'm gonna have to let you figure that one out on your own, I'm afraid.
Oh. So
Anyway, I walk in.
you guys walk up to the ship. As you walk up to the ship, literally as you walk up to the door, there's no interfaces or anything. You literally just see the scanner go. Welcome, Icarus, and the door opens up, and you guys go walking in, and then it says, "Welcome, James Carmine. Welcome, Constantinia. I don't remember if Lucinia Constantinia." And
You
guys
see
go walking in.
Carmine look up for a second, is like,
You aren't exactly that quiet with your name, to be fair.
mostly on last name basis with people. But it would make sense that she, of all people, would know.
As you guys go onto the vessel itself, you're walking around trying to like take in the place. This is designed beautifully. Oh my god, everything is state of the art and new. As you guys go walk into the area, you're like, this looks like the common room, but where do I get food? As you like say the words like where do I get food, all of a sudden you'll see like the wall opens up and like a whole bunch of like a high luxury, very quality food appears, as well like very high quality liquors and stuff like that. When you go into the bridge to see like what's flying, like how things function in the bridge, as you go in there, you see there's the one seat that's clearly meant for like the pilot to take care of the flying and whatnot, but there's all sorts of other computers that are nearby. If you go over to like the one, like, oh, this looks like the weapon systems, as you walk over to it, a chair comes out and the chair actually recalibrates itself to be what's comfortable for your species. So like if Constantinia versus Carmine go over to the weapons area, it actually is a slightly different shaped chair. And as you sit into the chair itself, it actually interfaces with the suit that you're wearing. So like, because of the fact that it's interfacing with the suit that you're wearing, it's actually, you can use your hands to make motions a little bit quicker than you otherwise would be able to do so, allowing you to interface with the computers that are there a little bit faster. Doing a quick weapons scan, you can actually see the ship is outfitted with 4 different weapons that are on it, but it can only fire, depending on which combination you're using, 2 or 3 in a round if it wants to, and blah, 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 blah. There is a VI that is installed into the computer. The VI happens to be a very attractive, though it's, you know, they pretty much all are, right? A very attractive Asari woman, of course. A very attractive Asari, not woman, but Asari. Human brain. So a very attractive Asari that's dressed in like a gown that is both very enticing, but at the same time dressed very well. It's one of those like borderlines if you're dressed very well for occasion, but clearly very sexy. And she appears as a holo display.
I know the
for
feeling
room that you're in. That appears as a holo display for whatever room that you're in case you're actually speaking directly to it. It actually appears so you can actually look at it if you care to do so, which is kind of something that's more comfortable for most organic creatures, to have something to look at while you're talking to it. And just kind of like going throughout the room. Then eventually you go into one room, like, oh, let's check out the engines in this place. And as you go into the engines, you're completely caught off guard. It actually surprises the hell out of you guys as you go walking into the engines, and you see a Vorsha literally has his hand inside one of the engines, like while it's like on a testing cycle, has its hand inside one of the engines.
Are you meant to be here?
Yes, and pulls his hand out. Things are working. And he goes over to one of the other computers and starts like tapping away at the keyboard. And you see it's like all of a sudden starts with its diagnostics and the engine goes online. You can see like everything seems to be functioning fine. You're here to fly the ship.
You are.
You know,
engineering.
it never hit me until now, but Vorcha would actually be a pretty decent engineer. He could lose his arm in an accident, he'd be back to work in no time.
When there's like radiation power imbalances and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So he's like, you're here to fly the ship.
You are engineering.
Yes.
Brilliant. Constantinia, do you want to fly? I can handle communications and scanners, and I'm gonna try and reach out to the VI, and this is me asking Scott whether I can split focus on this ship because it's new.
Oh, absolutely.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, you reach out to the VI and you ask for an interface, and the VI says, more or less, the VI has you run a quick program-to-program diagnosis to make sure you can handle it, and then the program says, of course, and steps aside and allows you to do so.
Yeah, it is sort of like he was like mid-sentence while walking back to the bridge, and then his body just stops, and all the lights go out.
Mm-hmm.
Whirring.
And of course, you did this wirelessly. You know what I mean? And so that thing stops probably in the engineering area, right?
I'll give like a concerned look to
I'm like the way back.
Oh, so in the middle of one of the hallways. And it's so large, it's literally one of those to get around.
Hope you don't need to run anywhere quickly. He's there now.
Oh, awesome. So you give a concerned look to Carmine.
And move my way around the now broken or off robot.
He's
And head
having a
towards the
little
pilot
nap.
area. Oh, okay.
From the speakers is like, oh, is that not good? I can move if you want. I'm trying to. It's like being stretched through a spaghetti strainer.
You don't know what spaghetti is, Constantinia?
I made that joke fully aware that she wouldn't as well.
And Carmine just stifling a laugh in the background.
Where the ship VI holographically appears, it will glitch and change to be a sort of mid-20s ish kind of a neat look, like a human who is neat but messy, but deliberate messy, like a sort of David Tennant playing Doctor Who kind of thing. Kind of young, probably just wearing whatever Carmine wears when he's not wearing his armor. That sort of not that understuff stuff, and he's sort of getting used to having a hollow body and pointing at things and turning them on.
Carmine wears a brand new wife beater with some jeans that sag right around, just right where his crotch ends and his knees begin. Somewhere in that region right there. No belt, of course. And his underwear are not just hearts. They're Tweety Bird hearts.
Ugh.
Of course, Tim's unlaced.
Never mind, out. I'm wearing a hoodie. In fact, now I think about it, Icarus is definitely wearing a hoodie. And no shoes as well. It is a little hologram thing.
I'm curious if anybody who ever listens to this episode ever in the history of ever is despite being a big enough nerd to want to watch a Mass Effect game, is hey, that's the way I dress.
I'm not wearing shoes right now.
Why would you? You're inside at your computer.
I just took mine off about 5 minutes ago. I don't know if you saw, but
that's why I had to mention.
I never wear shoes like inside people's homes. I don't know.
I'm wearing socks today, which is weird.
I always wear socks.
Abnormal. I'm a sockless man usually, but it's cold.
Half the time when I go to bed, I take them off though.
Half the time.
You also have to wear multiple pairs a day.
I switch my socks all the time. Yeah, I go through 3 or 4 pairs a day. Yeah.
You're a clean man.
And they have to match too. They can't be
oh no, I do not match my socks.
They have to match.
Let me declare it on live twitch.tv. I am an odd sock man.
My wife will wear
although I am actually wearing even socks right now.
My wife will wear the ultra low profile, don't even go over the bump of your ankle, like a pink one, and then she'll wear one that could go up to your shin, like you're playing soccer, like a Yoda black one with green on it, and I'll be like, how are you breathing right now? That's utter chaos. That is Kieran. That is Kieran socks. All right. So, anyways, moving on. You guys make your way to. So you're on the ship and you're kind of playing with all the bells and whistles. Icarus, you interface to the ship, and one of the cool things about interfacing is you actually realize that the ship is built with a processor of 1. The ship is a processor of 1.
I just snap it from the VI.
You can force it to work as a double processor, so it can actually get you 2. However, much like your processor there, if you make that happen, it does actually cause a power change.
I don't need that. What I'll say is that once I get used to the ship, that is the one processing to initiate split focus. 'Cause split focus is cool. It's kind of like something else that I don't remember, where it just sort of stays on until I turn it off. So that's me like getting into the ship, and then I can use the rest of my processing to become more, which is going to be very fun. I don't really know what it'll do, but I'm gonna do it.
Okay. So
Get ready, Scott.
So more or less, you guys go in there, you're getting comfortable and whatnot. Finally, Constantinia sits down into the pilot chair and is like, okay, how am I going to, more or less interfere with this? When all of a sudden, all of the displays and everything in front of you that are set for an Asari completely switch over to being set for a Taurian. And you see tons of displays just kind of switching out and changing over to being for a Taurian military kind of interface. However, this isn't because the ship is smart enough to do that for you. It's because Icarus was already handling that for you before you got and sat down there, and is kind of like switching it over to make that happen. The other important thing.
Icarus.
Do you actually say that? Thank you, Icarus.
Yes.
Icarus.
You're welcome.
The other thing, Icarus, that you notice is because this is an Asari vessel, some of the ways that the vessel works for making jumps and whatnot, because it makes it easier for Asari pilots, is it actually connects to the way that you use biotics. It's because they're biotic creatures, so it actually allows them to. So as a non-biotic user using this vessel, it actually might cause a bit of an impedance. You completely bridge that gap for them, causing no negative penalties whatsoever. Okay, so more or less there are two pilots to the ship right now. Icarus and what's her name? Constantinia. What's your normal bonus, assuming no other effects whatsoever, Icarus? You're what? Pilot -1?
Pilot -1, but intelligence +1.
So it's a 0 unless you commit. And Aaron, what's yours?
0.
0, because you use Dex or Intelligence.
I can use Dex. Oh, then it's a +2.
Oh, okay, that's a +2. Cool. So because of the fact that you guys can do kind of like a co-piloting thing, the way it's going to work is what's your skill level with it, Aaron?
I have 0.
Oh, okay, cool. So you can use,
nice.
You can use your skill level and his modifier if you want to, as like a way to like mix it. So you can be like, oh, my skill level is 0 plus his intelligence of 3 if you wanted to do that to increase your ability. Okay?
Cool.
I'm not intending to commit processing to become more intelligent.
In which case, you could just do the typical aid another, which is just
which would just be the one, which is my intelligence right now anyway.
Cool, awesome. So then you would be rolling with a +3 then, Aaron. So you guys are going to take off. Before you take off, though, you get coordinates set to your vessel of where it is that you need to go. Now, your engines on this vessel are actually you guys usually have 1s. These engines are 4s. So yeah. So you can go pretty fast. If you trim the course, you can make them effectively 5s, which is like insane. Give me 1 second.
We don't need that.
But then we get there faster, and there's more chance of saving the Yumis.
That's true.
So you guys are heading over to what's called the Phoenix Massing. And heading over there's going to be 2 jumps. The DC for that is actually only an 8 because 7 is the base, +1 because you're using the maximum that the engines can do normally. So that makes it, because when you're hitting max, I tax you with a +1. So it's a DC of 8 piloting to do that. If you want, you can have the engineer squeeze out energy from the engines to make them higher quality to reduce that DC by 1 for you. Or you could say, I'm happy with Nate Scott. Shut up and let me roll.
I can boost the engines to increase the speed.
Not for the purpose of jumps, though. That's for like combat or
Cool.
scenes.
I was just checking if I could do that for jumps, but it doesn't really. But you essentially have 2 different engines, don't you? Really?
Yeah.
I mean, what's the downside to having the engineer boost the engines to reduce DC by 1?
It's one of those things when you come out the other side, it's gonna affect the power levels of the ship when you come out the other side. So if you like jump out and immediately are in combat, it's a bad thing. But if you have like a bunch of hours between when you come out in this combat, it won't affect so much because remember, spare power can be used to make your guardian system work longer.
Do it until we get like really close, but for like the intermittent hops, sure.
Sure. So once with it, once without. Aaron, you're going to make a DC 7 and a DC 8 piloting check. Don't forget, Ollie's giving you a +1 to your piloting. You're using dexterity. Thank you.
Yep. So there's the 1.
Beautiful. So the first jump, you have him. So when he does this thing, now you're actually seeing the negative effects of it. You can actually see that the way that he does it, he actually allows the radiation levels inside the engine room to get to a point where it's like, okay, Constantinia could probably be okay. Maybe she'd have to make some saves. Carmine would be in a lot of trouble being inside there, as would Icarus, because VI are just as in danger as humans in high radiation areas. It's just Torians have a resistance, and Vorsha are very resistant. So anyways, you can do that again, Erin.
Yep.
This is the DC 8. And of course, this is the time that we fail. So, kind of funny, or I should say unfunny, had sent a crisis averted earlier. So to describe this out is, as you guys are going and making this jump, you had gone the jump and you had landed at this this relay, set the coordinates in the relay to allow it to realign and immediately jump to the next jump to do so. Unfortunately, it's one of those things because you're not typically a pilot. You didn't allow the appropriate cooldown time to happen from when you overclocks the engines before to making your next jump. You probably didn't even allow enough cooldown for a normal jump to be able to do that. So as you're doing this, there's some crazy spikes of power that are happening in there, like very high spikes of power. And so the Vorsha that's inside the room is like, it's getting awfully hot in here. You know, like not very happy. But is actually able to go.
Fine.
He's actually able to go, and he's able to flood out all of the radiation, the heat that's happening in there while you guys are flying, because Vorsha can survive in space for short periods of time. He actually literally opens up to space at faster than light speeds and vents everything out. And he does this a handful of times over the course of the hours, the whole day, effectively, that you're flying this. It's a 2-day trek to come out the relay at the Phoenix Messing. So, Phoenix Massing. So you come out the other side, crisis averted. You don't have to make any rolls or anything like that. You're good to go. You're finally there, but the engine clearly needs some time to recoup from that. Ollie, at this point in time, would you like to start rolling me your scanning? You don't get the +2 because you don't have the survey.
Do I get anything if I start splitting focus? I'm technically 3 people right now.
Not for this task, not for a specific.
Yeah, I get if yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
This isn't actually that good, probably. All you need is apathy.
So what happens is, as you are flying through, as you're jumping out the other side of the relay, you're setting your scanners and everything to try to pick up what's on this side of the jump. And in scanning, you actually not only pick up 2 vessels, but you actually are able to pick up the power fluctuations of shields being kinetic barriers having their effects
shields
dropped and then go back online, and dropped and go back online, refluctuation of kinetic barriers. You're actually able to see that there is an active fight going on not far from here. With a quick check and calculation, you believe you could probably get there within 2 hours time. If you really kick those engines hard right now, you'll be able to get there quicker than that.
I will, at this point, I would tell the whole party that, and then I will split focus and start boosting the engines.
Sure. So why don't you roll me that check to boost the engines?
Do I get any bonuses for technically being 100 people right now?
You get a bonus for you're giving yourself a +1, but I'm actually giving you another +1 because there's actually an engineer on hand to assist. Because one of the
you definitely need like a man to fix things at the moment.
You're micromanaging him too, like 4 voices in his head.
Coolio.
So what you see, Constantini and Carmine, so you pick up. Do you say anything to them as you?
I say that the course would change to be the fight, and then I would pop up a hollow display of the fight that's happening, of the ships fighting, but I wouldn't really be saying anything.
Okay, so you make them aware of that. Constantine, you already sit in the piloting chair. Mm-hmm. How do you guys react if you do anything?
I ready the weapons to fire.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm piloting, so there's not much I can do. other than doing well at that.
All right, so Carmine, as you're walking over to take a seat in the weapons chair, in the weapons area, all of a sudden the chair already comes out and is situated for a human to sit there. The weapons are already prepared to come online with a one-button command to do so. They're not actually deploying at the moment, though, because obviously you got to get there safely before you open up the weapons for like cruising speed and combat speeds are two very different things, right? So as literally as you're walking up to the thing, it's already prepared and waiting for you. Like, oh, okay. You like sit down and like, I guess I'll just wait then. I don't have to do anything. And you can see, Aaron, as you go to, it's one of those things as you're piloting to get there. A lot of the stuff that you try and calculate or prepare, the things that you typically have to do as a pilot, you like reach over to press like a quick command to start a calculation, and you realize the calculation's already done for you and prepared, and you're like, oh, and you like reach over to apply it over here, and you can see that the application has already started. And it's literally one of those, okay, I guess it's literally just hands on the steering wheel.
What I can do if it comes to combat is I'm assuming I can also do the captain's actions and like support department.
You most certainly are going to be able to do that if you want to.
And the cool thing is we have infinite command points because I'm 100 people.
That's not true.
There you go.
Command points aren't done by people; they're done by positions.
That's sad.
Ah.
But true, I take up every other position in the ship then.
Yep. So anyways, and then was
Which I was
really
doing
funny
anyway.
as you guys are getting close to where the combat is going to be. So more or less with that success roll that you rolled right there, Ollie, instead of getting there in about 2 hours time, you're going to get there in about 45 minutes time, right? Actually, do me a favor, Aaron. Roll me a pilot check. Sorry.
Yep.
Same
No
plus
worries.
1 as before.
Hold on, everyone. We have people to save. And Icola sounds like continuously stressed as things are automatically like the guns are automatically getting ready to like, oh, and you know, if we go from this to here is like 10 different combat operations you could do. You know, all that sort of stuff is just happening courtesy of Icolas with like emojis pasted in because he likes them. But they're Asari ones.
So as you're making your way, sorry emojis.
It would exist, right? Wouldn't it?
Oh man, that's strange. I'm curious what a sorry
I'm just
emojis look
thinking
like.
about it. The same, but with blue.
Oh, I kind of want to see Elcor emojis.
Yeah, they've got to be one for each. There's
I
got
just
to
did
be.
like 15, so.
Yeah, exactly. They're very subtle.
So anyways, you are able to trim the course enough to between the two of you guys. You get there in about the 40 minutes that I was saying. I forgot that didn't have your roll before. So instead of 2 hours, 40 minutes to get there. And around when you're about 10 minutes out from applying, all of a sudden the what's it called? Vorsha comes into the room really quickly and actually places a beer and like a cup holder, a comfortable spot in front of Carmine, and brings over and places a tea over in front of Constantinia that happens to be Carmine's general favorite beer and Constantinia's general favorite tea, and says, Icolas wanted you to be calm. And like goes and makes his way back to the engineering area and heads back to continue doing the stuff that he
In the chat is like, can we keep him? He's useful.
He was given a command to go and get you guys beverages. So he goes back to the engineering, and then you guys are coming in. All of a sudden, like you have the longer range scanners that you have. Make a scanning check, Ollie, if you could do that for me, please.
And actually, I will use my last processing to give myself a +1 intelligence for the rest of the scene, assuming the rest of the scene is going to be combat.
It will be. What you see is a ship blow up. Never mind, combat's over.
Rip.
So as you guys approach, actually what you're able to see, and you throw it up into the hull display so you guys can see it, is there is in fact a Taurian vessel that's flying there. The Taurian vessel is a light frigate, which is about the same size as what you guys are flying right now too. Yours is so advanced, it doesn't really need a bunch of crew to run it, right? So even though you have actively 4 crew members or 5 or
and like 100 extra peoples.
So that you have crew actually. So it's about the same size as yours. So a light frigate, but that one's a Taurian one, being attacked by a heavy frigate. Of just doing a quick glance at it, it looks like it might be of Krogan make, which Krogan make, don't forget, is a big change of Solarian creation. Solarians gave Krogan the technology, and Krogan kind of like turned it into their own thing. So you see like a Krogan war vessel attacking a Taurian research vessel. Mind you, all Taurian vessels are combat vessels, similar to like how pretty much all human vessels are combat vessels as well. So you see this happening, and the Taurian vessel is actually holding up pretty well in the sense that Taurians actually have a defense focus first. So like humans are, we want to be attack focused and have defense focus. Taurians are actually very, very defense focused. That's one of the ways that they are able to survive attacks, so that the opponents get closer and then wipe them out. Solarians are very attack focused. We want to stay back here and then blow you up from so far away that you can't get us, right? So the ship is actually holding itself together pretty well considering the bombardment that you see happening. But it is obviously not going to be able to win this fight for two reasons. One, it's outmatched, outgunned, outclassed by the ship that's against it. And two, you were informed that pretty much the entire crew on this ship are humans. And Aaron, you can see that while this is a new Taurian vessel, it's like a newer model of Taurian vessel. Unfortunately, you can already see the quality of flying that's happening in it is so. You're like, I'm not a pilot. I could probably do better. You know
Constantinia is face palming so hard she's about to get airlocked.
Yeah. So you see this happening, and as you see this happening, you see the battle commencing and everything going on. How do you guys approach? Do you start with guns blazing? Do you want to throw a hail out to them? Do you want to fly
I
by?
tell Icolus, who is currently rebooting, that he should put Constantinia in contact with the Turian vessel so that we could tell them that we're here to help.
Okay, so Icolus is, as you make that request, Icolus immediately sends out the transmission, and it takes a couple moments, and then it comes through as a hail, and then they open the frequency. Do you send that? Do you like open your hail to them, Aaron, with a message, or do you just like open frequency? I can't hear you because apparently your communications are offline.
I'm so sorry. Penny was barking.
Aww.
Yeah, no, I would just start with my name. Like, this is Lucinia Constantini, and I would give my rank, whatever that may be. We haven't really discussed that. And say, we are here to help with the situation. We will be attacking the Krogan war vessel.
Okay, so you do that. The frequencies opened up from the other side, and they're like, "This is Captain Hardy speaking. Thank the gods. I'm so happy that you're here. You are going to be able to attack them. What are you flying? Is this Taurian aid?
No, we are acting on behalf of Arya.
Arya?
In the group chat, you get like a little things like, we'll discuss details later. Let's get to murdering.
Okay. Do you guys say anything else, or you just leave it as dead air?
I will say that probably wasn't the best way to phrase that, Carmine.
No, he said it in the group chat, not to them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was for you specifically, yeah.
Yes, of course. And then I will. My plan is basically just to do the 8 other action with the captain. I don't have that open right now. I have like 3 tabs open for combat.
Absolutely. No, you're
Assist
perfectly
department.
fine. You actually don't have to sweat it because you more or less leave dead air, and then it's like, okay, I'll see you on the other side. And then closes frequency, and you can see that the way that they're piloting the ship changes slightly to like, unfortunately, it changes slightly in a way that it's better defensive for them, but it also is like the way that they're kind of like backing off and adjusting themselves opens for you guys to have a clean flyby, which will, of course, you could tell that the way that they're flying, it's specifically a way that says, I'm now going to be working in tandem with somebody else for any decent quality pilot, and it's actually Icolus that picks up this information, not Constantinia or Carmine. It says, I'm now going to be working in tandem with somebody else, which unfortunately shows your hand and says, I now have support arrive. And you can see that the other ship, of course, reacts in kind and shows that they're now kind of like turning their angle in such a way to be prepared to open up their fight to more than just one vessel, right?
It's not necessarily bad, though, because it means they're not attacking that vessel anymore.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. It means they're not 100% focusing on it. And of course, your job is to take the hits, right? Or at least to take the fight to yourself. So as you guys are going to start closing in on the fight and cruising your way in there. Icarus is already starting to heat up. You know what I mean? Actually, the suit that he was wearing beforehand, you can actually it's starting to whir a little bit because he's using processors in the suit that he just came out of to make things
Could
happen.
we have put that suit with the Vorcha so that when he vents all the radiation and whatnot, we cool the suit down a little bit?
It's still sitting in the hallway. You don't want to burn out the Vorcha? Come on now. So
You're muted, by the way, Ollie.
It would have ionized the suit and damaged it forever. Icarus isn't a Vorcha. Put Icarus in the kitchen.
So you guys make your way to so as you guys are cruising in to engage this ship in combat, getting all your weapons online. It's literally one of those things where Carmen's like, all right, I don't know what line he would say, but as he goes to say his line, it's like right as he's finishing his line. Shit. The weapons all come online for you, and so you don't even have to press a button. You're like, oh, okay, this is convenient. And you can already see like all the targeting whatnot systems already working in advanced for you. And you're like, this is insane how much this is happening. I'm not sure whether if Carmine or Constantini would necessarily realize that all this stuff happening for them is specifically Icarus doing it, or they would just assume that the ship is that advanced. But it's because Icarus is handling the problems for them. As you guys are getting into combat speed, cruising in, getting ready for an approach, we're actually going to end the session now.
I knew it.
And next session, we're going to...
Make me wait another week for all the exciting things.
Oh, of course, absolutely.
It's because he said that the ship has 4 guns, but didn't tell us what guns they were.
Yeah, I mean, do you want me to wait?
No.
So I'm going to get the sheet all set up for you so you guys can see it, and you'll have all the information that you need right there. It'll be a separate character sheet that has all the info, and then Rick will just apply his stats to it. So, all right. Anyways, thank you so much for coming by for the Mass Effect one. Next session, we're going to be hopefully killing everybody on that ship except for JJ. Good luck pulling that off. And grabbing JJ so you can then go back and find out what's going on with this Solarian particle that you're studying. Ollie, first and foremost, who are you? How can we find you? And am I going to see you in 80 minutes?
No. My usual show that I pimp is on a little bit of hiatus. Yavaskia Mother's Love is over. But we will be doing another Yavaskia thing in 1 or 2 weeks, depending on how long it takes to plan. And then after that, we're actually going to run Stars of Outnumber. Not Mass Effect. Regular, Ollie style, home fried, well-seasoned Stars of Outnumber. It's what you want. It's what your grandma wants. It's going to happen when we're done with a small Yavaskia adventure that's going to be a little interesting. You can also watch me play God of War, also known as Dad of Boy, on Tuesdays and Fridays, and I might play some later if I don't fall completely asleep. And on Sundays, I do co-op streams where I'm going to be playing baseball and Scrap Mechanic. If you like baseball or horrible abominations of machinery, come watch me on Sunday.
I thought they watch you on Wednesday morning for horrible abominations of machinery.
Yeah, you should see what was his fucking name?
Scott. My name's Scott. Hi.
Michael Keaton Mark II. You should see Michael Keaton Mark II and tell me that Icarus is an abomination compared to him.
Is his name Batman?
No, I made a robot called Michael
MKIE.
It was MK2, abbreviation wise. Michael Keaton. He was Batman, yes. And then the Vulture. There was a joke. There was humor in the moment. I'm tired. Good night.
Rick, who are you? How can we find you? Why do we care?
Hi, I do things on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. It's all derp digital. I'm kind of annoyed at the moment because, well, my hard drive that I'm currently putting all my videos on is kind of broken. I need to fix it at some point without losing all my files, and I just came back from Stockholm, so I've been sleeping a lot because tired. I'll get it fixed at some point, and then videos will come out. Until then, I don't know.
All right, well, hopefully that gets fixed soon. But I'm glad you had fun while you were out there.
It was great.
I saw some
It's just that coming home sucks.
It's the way it is with any vacation or trip or moment of enjoyment. You're like, I really enjoyed sleeping tonight. Waking up sucks. Right? All right, so
Yeah, like going away for a couple of days just really reminded me how bad it is here and how I need to work on getting out of here, so that'll be a thing.
It's just like us
There you
trying to leave Omega.
Aaron,
You seem to like Omega just fine.
Icarus did like. Icarus was confused by Omega. Icarus has a lot of questions to ask his mum.
I'm Erin. I play here on Wednesdays, and I play on Scott's Game on Fridays. And I'm active in the Discord if you want to chat.
awesome. I'm excited to see where things end up going this Friday for our next session of Eberron Breakout Genocide.
Explosions,
Yeah,
I'm
But
sure.
Tonight we're doing a Lost Initiative show, Twitch.tv/Lost Initiative show. Same PCs, different DM, different. Just come watch. I will see you all later.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Why is it bat?
Because it's Batman. You're old.